Although not part of the Sikha proper, I should like to move into a set of 3 digressions relating to TEHILLIM 8:6, referenced by the Gemara Masechet Nedarim as a basis for the limitation placed upon Moshe Rabbeinu that at best he was able to penetrate the 49 levels of Torah knowledge, or in other words godliness. Ultimately he did reach the maximum, the 50th level, but this was given to him not through his efforts but as a matana at the discretion of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As with all text material, within a certain framework, the information can be approached and interpreted from a number of different standpoints. I would like to digress and take a closer look at 3 of those that I have come across, and they are: 1. The Gemara's treatment of this Pasuk, which we had referenced earlier, and this is a combination of both drush and sod, with the sod explanation providing a reasonable understanding to the drush. I would like to once again touch upon the explanation of the Radak as presented in the Art Scroll commentary to Sefer Tehillim. This also will rely on Kabbalistic concepts. And finally, that of Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, who brought his agenda to the interpretation of texts reflecting issues facing Orthodox Judaism in the mid-1800s. The Gemara's take on this Pasuk uses the tools of Drush and applies the Pasuk to Moshe Rabbeinu. Vatchasrehu, you have made him, referring to Moshe Rabbeinu, mi'at me'elokim, a little less than the angels. And to place this Drush interpretation into some context, we will need to refer to the Kabbalistic concept of the 4 worlds, where each of these 4 worlds are inhabited by either physical or spiritual forces. Working our way up from the bottom, we have the world of Asiyah. This is the world that Adam inhabits, along with all physical beings. World number 3 is the world of Yetzirah. This is a world inhabited by Malachim, but not necessarily the kind that have wings and halos. Above the world of Yetzirah is the world of Bria. In this world of Bria we have the Nishamot, and elsewhere the world of Gan Eden is linked to the world of Bria. And above that is the world of Atzilut, from the word Etzel, close, and this is the finite manifestation of the Ein Sof of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But Chasrehu, with the shurish of Chet Samach Reish, to lessen, to diminish, to miss out of, and as it applies to Moshe Rabbeinu, he stands a little lower than Mi Elohim, and here the Elohim refers to the next highest level of Kedusha, that of the world of Yetzirah. And according to the Sikha, based upon Kabbalistic thinking and reflected in a very subtle way in the Gemara in Nedarim, that Moshe Rabbeinu was able to reach the highest level, that is the 49th gate, given the fact that he was a physical entity. He could not, however, penetrate the 50th, which would have brought him into the next dimension. Ultimately, he was given access to the 50th gate, and this came about, as mentioned in the Sikha, through a process of matana, the itaruta de le'ela, and somewhat of an asmach to validate this assertion comes from Devarim 32:49, where in preparation for his death, Moshe was told to alei el har ha'avarim hazeh, ascend this particular mountain, identified as Har Nevo, Asher Be'eretz Moav. This Har Nevo is located in the land of Moav. It was specifically crossed from the city of Yericho, and he was given the opportunity to gaze at the land of Canaan that was to be given to the Bnei Israel. And while at one level, Ein Mikra Yotze Midei Pshuto, that Moshe Rabbeinu physically ascended the mountain and gazed at the land of Eretz Israel, this does not preclude a midrashic reading between the lines with respect to the descriptive of this mountain as being Har Nevo. From the world of Drush, we break apart the word Nevo into 2 parts. Nun, Bo, 50 was in him. Him clearly in this pasuk refers to Moshe Rabbeinu, and the drash points to the fact that Moshe ultimately, upon death, did penetrate the 50th gate, that throughout his entire lifetime he could not reach. This 50th gate was the world of Yetzirah, and in a commentary to the Gemara's interpretation, the Art Scroll offers a clarification that this gateway is the entranceway to comprehending God himself, which of course is a statement that requires some clarification, either with or without the tools of the Kabbalistic model. On more safer ground, in its translation to this Pasuk, the Art Scroll paraphrases the position of the Radak. According to this translation, the subject is not Moshe Rabbeinu but mankind in general. And Pasuk Hey points out the frailties of man. What is the frail human that you should remember him, writes David HaMelech? And what is the son of mortal man? A little bit of repetition over here, that you should be mindful of him. In other words, on the scale of things, man is basically insignificant, not worthy of God's attention. And from Pasuk Hey we move into Pasuk Vav, Vatachasrehu Miat me'elokim, once again, Vatachasrehu chet samach reish, to lessen, to diminish, and Elohim referring to the angels, the malachim. Yet, despite the insignificance of the human being, you have made him a little less than the angels. The kavod, which the Art Scroll translates as a reference to the neshama, ta'atrenu as a noun, and atara as a crown, as a verb, ayin tet resh, to crown somebody, to adorn. Yet you have made him a little less than the angels, and have crowned him, Adam, mankind, with a neshama and a splendor. Once again, referring back to our model of the four worlds, physical man is a product of the world of Asiya, world number 4, and v'kavod v'hadar ta'atrenu, into that physical body is placed a neshama from world number 2. A point reflected by the Radak, that like the malachim, man's neshama is not matter, but pure spirit. The only difference is that man's neshama is imprisoned in a coarse body that threatens to corrupt it. According to the Radak, TEHILLIM 8:6 reflects the challenges and the expectation, and possibly the purpose, for man's existence. Man here will be referring to the Bnei Israel.